My name is Tania Flores, and I'm from Gary, Indiana. I am originally from Chicago. My parents got there, and then afterwards, right before high school, we made the big move to Indiana. It all kind of started with a man and a woman who decided that they wanted to give their children the best possible chance at life. So they decided that they were going to move to America from Mexico. Fast forward a few months, and they're in Chicago, in a country where they don't know the language. Before they know it, they have 2 kids, and then 3. One of the sacrifices that my parents made when coming to the United States was their citizenship. And the process of having to get that citizenship is a lot more complicated than people realize. My parents are still not citizens, and I never really understood the significance of it until they were taken away from me. Around 7 or 8, they were both deported. It was just my brother and I, so we had to be put in foster care for about 4 or 5 months, I want to say. It was really hard to see your parents just taken away from you over legalities and having families separated over imaginary lines that people create. I was very involved in sports in high school. I was a dancer, I was a tennis player, and I was also a basketball player, which was interesting. Not just because I'm incredibly short, but also just the way that my career ended. I was a sophomore. It was our last basketball game, February 4th, 2012, and for whatever reason, nobody was available to play. People were sick, people were out, so I ended up being put as a center when I'm usually a small forward, and life changed for me in a split second. Someone threw a shot, I go up for the rebound because I'm playing center, and this girl who's twice my height goes up for the rebound also. As she's coming down, her elbow just perfectly hits me in the sweet spot in the back of my head. I black out, and when I wake up, there's a realization that I've lost my memory. I was diagnosed with both retrograde and anterograde amnesia. Retrograde is very classic in the movies. You lose your memory, you can't remember your past. Anterograde is a little bit more complicated. The nerves in your brain are damaged to the point that you can't create new memories, so you continue to reset. And I was diagnosed with both. I couldn't sustain memories and hold on to them longer than around half a day at most. And then one day, weeks later, I didn't reset. After that, the anterograde was dismissed and I was left with retrograde. And to say it was difficult would be an understatement. One of the earliest memories I have is just being so afraid. People are telling me that I have a family and that I do X, Y, and I enjoy Y, Z, and that I'm a specific kind of person, and I can't even recall my name. I have no idea who I am. I lost the ability to write for a while, to read, to do basic math. There was no guarantee at any point that I would regain my memories, so that was pretty terrifying. It was more of a relief when the memories did slowly come back. So the accident was in February, and this is months later in the summer. I was outside, and my mom was grilling, and she was making steaks or carnitas, something along those lines. I start smelling the meat that she's grilling, and I start feeling the feeling of going under a wave. That's really what it feels like. You're getting tumbled underwater in the wave, and it's completely overwhelming. And it's incredible because it's a very physical feeling. And as the smell of my mom's grilling gets stronger, the memory becomes so much more concrete. And I start hearing voices and laughter, and I can start smelling not only the carnitas, but the beach and the sand. And I realize that I'm in a scene. I'm little. My brother's with me also, my family, our neighbors, and we're grilling outside by the beach in Warren Dunes that we used to go to all the time when I was younger. After I got out of it, I was horrified and terrified and I didn't know what to do with myself. But I realized that that was the first of many, many waves to come, waves of memories. I hadn't experienced a wave in a really long time, but there's a new movie that came out. It's called Room, and there's a really short scene in which the woman is singing to her younger son, and out of nowhere, I felt that very familiar sense of overwhelmingness just being put back into foster care, where my foster mom had actually sung that song every night before we went to sleep. And it was just amazing the way that this random movie with this random song just happened to be so entwined in my childhood in a specific moment in it. Looking back on the almost soap opera series that my life has been, I can't help but feel a little frustrated that in order to get to where I am, I had to go through all of it. As difficult and as trying as a lot of the events in my life have been, I'd like to say that it was worth it, and I'd like to say that I would do it again. Actually, I'm sure that I would do it again.